Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the 72 review, episode 104, and it is the start of a brand new season, and the start of the season is predictions. So 2025-26 predictions are starting tonight. You've got 3 videos coming up. We've got League 2 tonight, League 1 tomorrow, and then the Championship on Wednesday before the season opener on Friday night and the big opening weekend. I am happy to announce that we've got a regular face and a not so regular face, but we'll start with the regular face. Ian, let the madness commence. Yeah. Introduce yourself, let people know who you are, what you do and why you do it.
Hello, my name's Ian. I'm a rapidly aging Rotherham United season ticket holder, and for me sins, when the Millers are away, I'm out all over the EFL blogging for my YouTube channel.
Lovely stuff. And then down at the bottom, we have got Jonathan Harris, been on the channel a few times. It is great to have you back on. Very knowledgeable at League 1, League 2 level and Championship level. So welcome back. It's nice to have you, and it's looking like it may be a good season for MK Dons. Introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you do.
My name's Jonathan Harris, and I'm an MK Dons fan trying to temper the expectations of 100 points, 100 goals that everyone else seems to be thinking we're going to get. I think people forget that we finished 19th last season, but signings we're making and the proposed signing that we have made just now as well is just not helping the situation, but looking forward to
should really be some a season to look forward to.
It should be indeed. It seems to have stopped a little bit. I'm sure he'll come back. But if you've seen the show last season, we're going to go around kind of the same sort of method. We're going to have a look at League 2 from in alphabetical order, from Accrington Stanley all the way down to Walsall. If we agree on a position, it's nice and easy. It just slots straight into that position. If 2 out of 3 of us agree on a position, it goes in there. If we all disagree and we've got a team in a completely different position, then we're just going to go with the average. And I'm sure towards the end, things will shuffle about if we feel that some teams might need to be bumped up a place or whatever. And then we'll lock it in at the very end. But it is your opportunity, if you're a fan of any one of the 24 teams in League 2, to tell us where you think your club should fall and give us a reason why. And we're pretty open to be educated. So, yeah, get in the chat. Yeah. It drives conversation and it'll help us place the teams in a more realistic position, because we're good, but we don't know everything. So let's make a start.
Last season's results.
Oh, there we go. That's the one. We get in there. Yeah, last season's results do tell us that we do not know all that much. Yeah. So starting with Accrington Stanley, Ian, where are you thinking for Accrington, mate?
Well, I'm looking now at their ins and outs, and they've brought 4 players in, and they've let a lot out. So therefore, they're streamlining the squad a little bit. But most of their incomings have come from non-league. And unless they hit the ground running, which is possible, obviously, I do fear for them a little bit. But they're very well versed in survival instincts. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think they'll be far away. I've got them in 21st.
Okay. Jonathan, Accrington Stanley, 21st. Are you in agreement or not?
I had them as 20th, but I'm happy to go with 21st. I agree with Ian. I think that they've got enough to survive. I think their home form is going to be crucial to anything that they do. And
it's not an easy place to go. It's not
exactly.
Yeah. Well, this has started really well because I had him in 22nd, so we'll go smack bang in the middle.
Sort of like a consensus there.
Yeah. That's nice and easy, isn't it? So they're Accrington are in 21st. Let us know in the comments if you think that that's about right or if we've misjudged Accrington. Next up, Barnet, the first promoted team of the show, did very well in the National League last season, and generally teams that come up fare pretty well. They're on the crest of a wave. They've got momentum. are Barnet going to be one of those teams? I have got them doing relatively well in 14th. I think they're going to compete. Ian, what about yourself?
Well, I'm looking at the signings that they've made, and they've made some really decent signings. They've got Critchlow, a good centre-back, a good League Two centre-back from Bradford. They've brought in a striker from Gillingham, Ollie Hawkins, that used to be with Pompey. His goal record's not brilliant, but he's a good target man. Some of the signings are really decent, and they obviously thought they needed to strengthen for the higher league. So, yeah, I think they'll do okay. So I've got them on 14th, to be honest with you. So I don't think we're too far away.
And Jonathan?
I've got them 8th. I just think momentum from the National League is normally pretty good. I think in Dean Brennan, they've got a manager who knows exactly how he wants his side to play. I think you'll get a lot of really good interviews out of him as well. I rate Callum Stead as well. That's come through. He used to play for my local team, Brackley Town. Was a really good player there as well. They might have, I can't remember if they've got, or if they had Leon Love as well, who was really good for Brackley, an absolute battering ram. But for me, I just think that momentum is key. I don't think they've quite got enough for playoffs, but I've got them for 8th.
So we've got 1/8, couple of 14th. Shall we sit him in around 11th, 12th for now and see what comes up?
Yeah.
Lovely. Ooh. Next up, Barrow. Ian?
To be honest, I mean, they've had a complete squad rebuild up there, Barrow. They've let, I would say, probably 20 players go and brought a load in. I like Rakeen Harper that's coming from Port Vale. He's down as a central midfielder, but he can play wing as well. Kane Hemmings, a striker. The wrong side of 30, but he could do a job for them. Defensively, they're not good at all. They conceded a boatload of goals last season, but they scored a lot as well. I don't think they'll struggle, but I don't think they'll sort of trouble the scorers here either. I've got them 18th.
Not too far away from where I've got them. I've got them in 20th. I don't think they've really added that much quality to the squad. I think they've lost more quality than they've added. And that's my reasoning for putting them down in 20th, but I'm happy to bump them up a few places, depending on Jonathan's prediction for Barrow.
I've got them in the middle. I've got them 19th.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. So I think that's fine. Yeah, 19th. Hey, we're starting to agree on stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it after doing this for so many years?
Dan, that's all. Yeah, I just agree with Dan. They've lost Robbie Gotts, Keane Spence, and the other midfielder that's escaping my memory now. And that feels like just too much of a loss in one trying.
Yeah.
And
not adequately replaced, really. Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan's gone once again. Moving on to Bristol Rovers, the first relegated team of the video. And for me, we're going towards the top of the table. I think Bristol Rovers have got the squad to really compete at this level. They've not really lost that many key players. So for me, I'm thinking they're in and around this area. I've gone 3rd for Bristol Rovers. I think they'll make the top 3, and make an immediate return back to League One. What about yourself, Ian?
I've got them just missing out in 4th. I mean, I think they've bought well. They've got Southern Hales in from Stockport, who was a decent right wing back. They brought a good left back in Jack Sparks from Posh, and a good centre half in Alfie Kilgore from Mansfield. So they're bringing players in who are really experienced from a higher level than League Two. I'm not sure about defence so much, but I think they'll be okay in League Two. But I put them fourth. But I think if they were fourth, I think they might probably win the playoff.
Yeah. And Jonathan? We've lost him again. We'll go fourth for now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
And we'll see who your top three is, Ian, and see if we end up shuffling those around a little bit. Moving on to Bromley, what are your thoughts on Bromley, mate?
The best bit of news from Bromley's point of view is that Michael Cheek's still there.
Yeah.
He's a cheat code for goals in this league. I mean, I think his goals kept him out of trouble last season a lot. They've had one season now where they competed really well and were sort of like, I don't know if they were, I think they were 12th or 11th or 12th, which were a good first season.
Yeah.
I think they'll suffer a little bit, but I don't think they'll struggle. So I've got them 14th.
14th for Bromley. Jonathan, thoughts on Bromley this season? Ian said that he's impressed that they've kept Michael Cheek and he could be the difference and keep them firing. I've gone a little bit lower than Ian. I've gone 18th. What are your thoughts on Bromley?
I've got them 12th. I've gone 12th on Bromley. I think a lot of teams will figure them out after last season, but I still think they'll be competitive. I like the signing of Mitch Pinnock as well. I think that's a good signing for League Two level. They've still got their loans to come in, and I know they get a lot of their loans from the London clubs around them. So I'd say 12th.
Yeah. Did you go 14th here?
I went 14th. You went 18th, so probably 14th.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
On to Cambridge. So a team that came down this season, had a really difficult season in League One. There's always a couple of teams that come down and struggle at this level. We did it a few seasons back. I was one of the fans that thought that we'd maybe have a consolidation season and then push on. And I think the first season that we're back in League Two, we finished in 18th. Now, I don't think Cambridge are going to be that team, but I do think they won't have it easy. I've got them just making playoffs, scraping it in 7th. What about yourself, Ian?
I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Although I must admit, I think the recruitment's been pretty good. They brought Dominic Ball in from Leyton Orient, who's he used to play for Oldham. He's sort of like a defensive midfielder. They brought another he's a left back, Ben Purrington. He played for Exeter. He's a left back. He's decent as well. And also, they brought in Rudder Mpanzu, who played for Oldham last season, from Luton. I don't know how he'll cope with the Mucking Bullets League in League Two, but he's quality. And they brought a decent keeper in, Jake Eastwood from Grimsby.
Yeah.
I think the recruitment's been good, so I've got them 9th.
Yourself, Jonathan?
I've got them 9th as well. I think they're just going to miss out on playoffs. I think you can't discount Neil Harris at this level. He knows that he's been there, done it, worn the T-shirt. I think, again, home form is going to be crucial, but when they're away from home, they're going to set up so not defensively minded. I think ugly is the wrong word, but so sort of anti-football that some teams might struggle. And I think they'll have a good season, but I don't think they've quite got enough for playoffs this season.
Lovely stuff. So that's 6 of the teams in. If you agree or disagree with any of those, get in the chat and let us know. Moving on to Cheltenham.
Anybody in the chat, by the way?
Not yet. We've not had a comment yet, but we've got a few people watching.
All right. Okay.
Moving on to Cheltenham. Thoughts on Cheltenham? We'll start with Jonathan on this one.
I've got them 23rd. I just feel everything that's gone on off the field. I think they're either waiting for an ownership takeover or they're like close. So I always think the off the field will affect on the field. I think they'll lose Ethan Archer, who was probably their player of the season last season as well. and they've sold Matty Taylor. He's playing non-league now as well, who was a proven EFL striker, and just doesn't feel like they've replaced the quality with quality. I just think they're going to be 20. Yeah, I've got them 23rd.
Yeah, so I've slotted them in 23rd because I'm in agreement with you on the position and the points that you've made. I think they're losing too much quality. George Miller, I think he's gone as well. Decent striker, or if he's still there. There were rumours that they couldn't pay his wages or something. So it just seems like there's something not quite right off the field, and like you say, sometimes that filters onto the field and makes it really difficult. Whereabouts did you have him in?
I had them rock bottom.
No.
To be honest with you, I had them 24. But they've brought Lee Angle in from Morecambe, because obviously Morecambe's had that fire sale. Everybody's, brought Robbie Cundy in from Notts County, who I've never been convinced of as a centre back. Ryan Broom from Fleetwood's a decent signing, because I can remember when Fleetwood played Rotherham in the Carabao last season, he cut us to ribbons. He's a decent winger, but they haven't got enough. Defensively, they really, really are poor. So that's why I had them bottom.
Yeah, so we've got them in the bottom two. We'll see who you've gone for in 23rd. It might be what we've got in 24th, Jonathan. You never know. We'll find out. Moving on next to Chesterfield. Ian, thoughts on Chesterfield?
Automatic promotion. They've bought well. They've bought that Dylan Markande in, who were on loan there last season. They've got the strike force. They've got Will Grigg. They've got, I think, did they bring Aidan Flint in? No, sorry. Yeah. No, they haven't. It's not Aidan. No, it's not him I'm thinking about. But defensively, they were solid. They were solid last season defensively. They've got a fantastic manager in Paul Cook. I've got them third.
I've got Chesterfield fourth, but obviously Bristol Rovers are taking that spot, so I'm happy bumping Chesterfield up to third. Jonathan, thoughts on Chesney?
I've got them as
champions.
I just think people are saying it's going to be a two-horse field with Cook, and the fact that they've not changed as much and continuity. I like the signing of Ryan Stirk from Walsall. I think that was a heck of a pickup from Chesterfield as well. I just think
the right
I don't think they'll have. Yeah, I just don't think that they'll have as bad an injury record as they did last season, because I think at points they were really down to the bare bones, and I just think that they've got enough to be champions.
There we go. So Jonathan's gone early with Chesterfield as champions. We've got Punk Chef in the chat. Have a good stream, lad. Sorry I couldn't come on the show. Dad life, family comes first all times. Jake, congratulations, Dapper and Vic. Yeah, we are expecting as well, if you've not seen my socials. So a little mini 18 Dapper will be on the way in the new year. So I'm looking forward to that. And he said, Jonathan, look after Pato. It'll be sound in League Two. We will talk about Pato when we get down to MK Dons shortly. But first, Colchester United. So I've got a little bit of history with Colchester fans. A few seasons back, I put them as potential relegation candidates, and I got absolutely hammered. And they finished 22nd or 21st that season, so I feel I was justified in that. But the Cowleys, I think they're building something. They had a decent season last season. I think it's a difficult division this year, though. I think it's open to anybody having a decent run. A little bit like last season, where it seemed like nobody really wanted to win it and run away with it. Walsall were there for so long and then fell off. We had opportunities to finish it earlier than what we did. I think this season's going to be similar, and I've got them down in 11th, but I think I've probably done them an injustice there. So I'm hoping you guys have got them a little bit higher. Ian, where have you got Colchester?
I've got them in the last playoff spot, 7th. I think you're right. I think the Cowleys are building something there. And there's one thing that Cowley's Lincoln side had, and that's team spirit. And I think they've got enough in that squad. They've got decent flair players. They've got a good attacking unit, and they're hard to beat at their own stadium. Their away record could improve, but I've got him in 7th.
Jonathan, are you in agreement with Ian, or more mid-table with myself?
I've got them in 5th. I just think the front four that they've got at the minute, and that's without the potential re-signing of Lyle Taylor. I think Samson Tavide, if he stays uninjured, can be absolute. He could be the Luke Molyneux of League Two this season. He's just an absolute cheat code. I like the signing. I know the MK fans didn't like him, but I do like the signing of Jack Tucker. If you give him some love, he'll be a good defender at this level. Still got Matt Macey, who's obviously one of the better keepers of last season. And that, as you say, the Danny Cowley effect. People don't like him unless they're at his club. He's got a bit of a, dare I say, a bit of a Steve Evans about him. But tactically, you can't go wrong with the Cowley brothers.
Yeah, there we go. We'll slot them in 7th then, in the middle of all of our predictions. So I mentioned earlier about a team not kind of acclimatising to League Two after coming down. I think Crawley may be that team, although I've got them in 15th, which is still an open slot in our table at the moment. I just think, although they performed relatively well last season with the resources that they've got for League One, I just think it might be one of those seasons where they're kind of a little bit unstable, want to stabilise and just kind of re-establish themselves in the league and just kind of steady the ship and then push on next season. So I've got them down as a kind of lower mid-table finish in 15th. What about yourself, Ian?
Well, when they came, they beat us 4-0 at New York back in March, and we made them
best result for you all, though.
And that it was a good day for us because we got rid of Evans that day. But attacking wise, they look really good. Scott Lindsay, he knows the setup there. He's a sort of like club legend. I think they do. I think they will need a season of consolidation. The signings, I can't pronounce this guy. Tishimanga from Posh, a forward.
He did well.
He's decent. And they've got McCurdy from Bromley, who's lost his way a little bit. He was very good at Carlisle. But I think they've got enough to not struggle. I've got them in, I'd put them in 13th, to be honest with you. I think they will suffer a little bit of a hangover, but not much of mid-table.
So we've got 15th and 13th. Jonathan?
14th, I've got them. You asking an MK Dons fan about Crawley, given the whole playoff and the links with Scott Lindsay and half of their squad from last season. Of course, we had to go and take one of their star players this summer as well, because that's just what we do. I rated Lindsay when he was at the club. He was honest. He was like sincere, and sometimes just a club doesn't work out for a manager, but Crawley and Lindsay fit together like a glove. So yeah, I can see them sort of in the sort of positions you've got them, sort of lower to mid-table.
Yeah, we'll go in Ian's favourite place, top of the bottom half. We'll stick him in 13. Crewe, Alex, where you popping these, Jonathan?
I've got these. I had these as low as 20th at one point, and then last week they signed Emre Tezgel on loan, and they signed Louis Molt, and that boosted their strike force for me in what was a pretty half decent squad.
Yeah.
So I've raised them to 16th at the minute.
Absolutely.
Lee Bell is under pressure for me after the back end of last season, where I think they were second at the turn of the year and they went right down. But when you've got a solid base of Mickey Demetriou, quality defender at the level, I think Josh March should get some good goals. He was handy at Harrogate, and and again, another side whose home form should determine how good their season is.
You must have been reading my notes, mate, because I had them in 19th before the signings, and I've bumped them up to 15th or 16th now as well.
And I've got them in exactly the same position as Jonathan, 16th.
This is too easy, lads. Far too easy. Until we look back at it at the end of the season, we've had absolute shocker.
Going Can I just say to the live stream, we haven't collaborated in any of this with at all. Promise you.
Not a single message telling. I don't know who. Well, we know who Jonathan's champion is in Chesterfield, but I don't know who Ian's is. I don't know who bottom. Well, Cheltenham was Ian's bottom team. I'm not sure on Jonathan's. So yeah, like Jonathan says, there's been no collaboration on this. It's just literally we turn up, we have a chat, have a beer, and lob some teams in a table and see where they fall. So we're at the halfway point now with Fleetwood. I'm expecting an half decent season from them, but not enough to get them into the top 7, unfortunately, for Nappers. I've got them in 10th. Ian?
Yeah, I've got them in 10th as well. It's ridiculous. It's
Jonathan,
ridiculous. They've lost Weirdo to Argyle, which is a big loss because he was sort of that linchpin. They've lost Ryan Broom as well, but they've also brought in some quality. They brought James Norwood in, Ched Evans, who was about 137. But having said that, they've brought some decent fullbacks in Malarkey and Denver Hume.
Yeah, I think there's potential for breaking in the top 7. I think.
I would imagine they'll be trying for a 3-5-2 wing-back formation with other signed. I've got them in 8th. I said 10, but I'm pushing
Change
it
your
to
mind.
8. I'm changing my mind, yeah.
What about you, Jonathan?
I've got them in 8th as well, actually, just missing out. I just think Pete Wild is one of them managers that seems to get the maximum out of the squad. He did it with Barrow. He
did a good job at Oldham as well.
He did a very good job at Oldham. I've watched the interview Nappers did with him, I think at the back end of the season. He just seemed like a really nice, genuine, honest guy. And for me, I just see them just missing out on players. If they can keep Norwood fit and Evans, they might stand a chance, but it's going to be dependent on that. And I think another big miss for them will be Phoenix Patterson, who went to Stevenage as well.
Yeah, that is a big loss for him. But I think he'll have a decent season, Nappers. I think he will.
Good stuff. So that's a halfway point. Once again, if you agree or disagree, let us know in the chat. Moving on to Gillingham. Gill's in the blood. Very good content creator. I'm hoping for a positive season for him. He's had a few rough ones. I can't see where I've put them yet. Oh, I have put them as a positive season. I've got them in 5th. I think the ownership is there. They are investing. I think they underperformed last season. I think it's maybe not shit or bust this season, but I think they've got to give it a go. So I've gone with a positive season in 5th.
Well, there's one thing Ainsworth will do, and that's give it a go.
Yeah.
They'll be horrible to play against. They will be competitive. They'll have been well schooled in the dark arts. But I don't think they've got enough. I don't think they've got enough at all. So I'm going to put them where I was going to put Fleetwood. I'm going to put them in 10th.
Okay, so we've got 5th and 10th. Jonathan, where have you got the Gills?
I've got them 11th, simply because I'm not sure if they've got the goals in them. I'm very fortunate that I get to speak to Matt a lot, and Matt does say that if they can get an extra 10 to 15 goals in the season and then keep their defensive record, then he can see them sneaking into the playoffs, and that's what's holding me back with them. They have signed Seb Palmer-Holden, who could fulfill that role. Elliot Nevitt, I think, needs to step up this season.
Yeah.
I think
one
of their star youngsters. Yeah. I think Joe Bode as well is linked with Luton, so that could be a huge loss out wide for his pace. I think he scored quite a few goals in pre-season, watching Matt's videos as well. So, yeah, I have them missing out, but not by much again.
Yeah, so we'll slot them in 10th for now. Looking at the table, we've still got a couple of autos available. We've still got one relegation spot. So if you are biting nails, try not to worry too much, because we know very little about football as it's been shown time and time again. So where aren't Grimsby going to finish? What's your thoughts on Grimsby?
Who's that, me or Jonathan?
You go for it, Ian.
Actually, I think Grimsby are going to have a good season. I think they bought well. Christy Pinn. from Mansfield in goal. And Sam Lavelle, who's a very good centre-half, although he were with a relegated club last season, Carlisle. Yeah, some of the signings are quite eye-catching. I think he's a good manager, David Artell. I think he did very well with Crewe.
Yeah.
I'm going to slot him in 6th. I think the thing is, it was inconsistency last season because they were capable of beating everybody, but they were getting capable of losing to everybody. We're very inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Grimsby, Jonathan?
I've got them 5th, simply because there's a few. I think first of all, keeping Artell, getting him a contract extension in the summer is probably their best bit of business that they could have done. Keeping him, I think keeping Danny Rose fit and firing is crucial, because at the minute, for me, they haven't quite got the firepower for me to go up to the autos. Again, their home form last season was pretty atrocious. I mean, MK Dons even went there and won, which was some form of miracle. So that has to improve. Just for me, I think they will have a good season, as Ian said. I just feel they're just going to miss out on the autos.
Yeah, so I had them a little bit lower than you guys. I had them in 8th, just missing out on playoffs. A little bit concerned about the firepower, if they've got enough to break into that top 7. So we'll slot them in 6th for now, because I think we had a 5th, a 6th, and an 8th.
Yeah.
Harrogate, one of those teams in League 2 that is expected to go down every season, but somehow they manage to survive and fairly often do pretty well. We've always struggled to beat them. We managed to beat them last season, I think once or twice. I can't remember. But seasons before, it's just one of those teams, a bit of a bogey team for us. Very frustrating. I've got them down in 21st, which is currently occupied by Accrington. So I'm happy either 20th or 22nd. I think the resources that they've got, they're always kind of punching above the weight at this level, but they do it pretty well, and they always seem to be survivors. So I think they'll survive again. What are your guys' thoughts? We'll go with Jonathan first.
Okay. I've got them as 22nd. I just think that Harrogate are one of these teams that they get beat by the teams that they don't expect to get beat by, and then they go and beat a high flyer that they'll go. I'll say, for example, they'll come to MK Dons and they win, for example, or something like that. But they always spring a surprise. I think you've got to respect Simon Weaver. He's been there since year dot, and he's got them up in the leagues. I think they've made a couple of decent signings. I think losing Jasper Moon going back to Burton is going to be huge. But when you've got James Belshaw in goal, then you always stand a chance of at least getting a point.
One of the best goalies in the league, yeah. Personally, I think they've recruited pretty well. Mason Bennett coming in from Burton was a eye catcher. Also, Bobby Faulkner from Donny on loan. I think he'll strengthen the defence a little bit. I've got him 20th, but I'm happy to go with the majority. I got him as high as 20th, but yeah, down there, but they'll survive.
Yeah, we'll slot them in 22 for now. We've still got quite a few teams to come in.
Yeah,
not sure if any of those will warrant Accrington and Harrogate being bumped up a place, but we'll find out as we go. There's only one place to start with MK Dons, isn't there? Ian, no, Jonathan.
Oh, well, this is my plea to not have us top, and I think I'm going to be fighting a losing battle here. We've got a quality manager in Paul Warne. Ian keeps banging the drum about him. Dan will back me up in the chat. He's been banging the drum saying we've got a quality manager. Richie Barker as well. We then go and sign Nathaniel Mendez-Lang on a free as our first signing. We then go and spend nearly £1 million on Aaron Collins, reportedly. Russian Hepburn Murphy. We then go take Will Collar from Stockport. And as of 6 o'clock tonight, Callum Patterson's now entered Stadium MK. And I'm really trying to find ways to not put us top. But I genuinely can't. For me, the only thing I can think of is I can't see us jumping all the way up from 19th to winning the league. That seems quite a big jump, and there's still quite a few players that will have the mentality from last season, and it's whether Warren can turn that round in the pre-season is the one for me.
I think if anybody can drill a set of players to compete and fight for each other, Warren is your man. I mean, I'm happy to take a point and put you second if it makes you happier. and reduces that stress and expectation of you being in first. But I have got you as champions. But if you want to be second, to not jinx it, I'm more than happy to place you second. Where have you got me in?
I've got them as champion, obviously. Absolute champions. They're the Birmingham City of League Two. They've bought quality. They've got a manager that's fantastic at motivation. I just can't see anybody getting within 15 points of them. I think they're absolute champions elect now, and we've not kicked a ball yet.
It's an impressive squad. It is a very impressive squad. I think we'll leave this one. Jonathan, they're your team, mate. Where do you want to go?
Well, if we're going on the voting system and I've been outvoted, then I'm willing to take the hit at the end of the season. I'm willing for everyone to come for me. Yeah, go for it.
We apologise to all MK fans now. But no, it's an impressive squad. I think predictions are always there's always risk with predictions. We saw last season we had Carlisle quite high. They got relegated. I certainly hope that doesn't happen for you, Jonathan. But we had teams that we predicted really low and did really well. I think you've said it in the chat, to be fair, similar to what I was saying at the start of last season. If you win the championship, that's a cherry on top of the cake. Ultimately, it's top three. That's the ideal. Playoffs has been a bit disappointing with the squad that you've got, but you'd also take it. But the main objective is promotion, isn't it? And once you've got that, then you can look at top spot. But I certainly can't see why the title shouldn't be within MK Don's grasp with the staff that you've got and the squad at your disposal, for sure.
Wow.
I think this may be a very different conversation now. We're going on to Newport County. This is my team at the foot of the table, unfortunately. I think they looked like they were struggling last season. I think they were fortunate that there were two teams worse than them last season. I don't know if there's going to be anybody worse than them this season, so I've got them in 24th. That position is still available. What are your thoughts, Ian, on Newport?
I couldn't agree more. I think the recruitment's not been good enough. I mean, I think they've brought two decent keepers in Starnev, him that used to play for AFC Wimbledon, a Bulgarian keeper, and Jordan Wright, but they're going to be busy.
Yeah,
they're going to be busy. It's just not filled me with any encouragement at all. I think they're going to struggle badly, and I think 24th's fair.
And Jonathan?
24th. I've got them 24th. I just think, as I completely agree with Ian, I look at their squad. I don't see anyone, bar maybe one or two individuals who might get them out, but you need more than one or two to stave off a relegation fight. I think the managerial appointment's a bit risky. Am I right in saying it's his first managerial appointment or something?
Yeah, I think it's his first EFL job anyway. Yeah.
And that's a huge, huge responsibility to have. Don't get me wrong, they're a bit like Harrogate and come and spring a surprise. I mean, they smashed us 6-3 at home last season. I think early on in the season, did they beat Doncaster as well? I seem to remember potentially.
They did, Jonathan. You've remembered that one really well.
No, you're right,
I tried to push that one out of my memory.
Yeah, I think 24th. I can't see any other situation where they survive unless Harrogate or Accrington are really bad. But I think that's going to be a little mini league within itself.
Yeah. But as we've just said with Jonathan and MK, potentially jinxing them, putting you in the bottom two isn't always a guarantee that you're going to go down. So please don't take this as gospel. This isn't. It may be the places that everybody finishes. It probably won't be. It's our opinion. Let us know if you think that we're wrong in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on repeat, and give us reasons why. We're more than happy to have respectful feedback. Let's call it that. Yeah. Moving on to Notts County. Ian, thoughts on Notts County?
Notts are a big club for this division, undoubtedly. They've got a decent fan base, they've got a fantastic stadium, but they've got a very, very underperforming team. And I can't see with the signings. Ollie Norburn from Blackpool, excellent signing in centre midfield. If they could keep Jody Jones fit, that might be another plus point for them. But they've brought an absolute disaster of a keeper in that Kelly Roos. He played half a season for us and he was throwing the balls in the net, right, left and centre. I mean,
you rate him then, yeah?
No, I don't. He's an absolute crap. So for that reason, I don't think that Notts are going to trouble the scorers. I've got them 15th.
That's low. I've got them a bit higher than that. I've got them in 6th, but with your damning assessment of their keeper, I'm thinking of reassessing that 6th place. Jonathan, where have you got County?
I've got them currently 11th, and it was one of them teams where I had them 11th, and then their manager, Martin Patterson, he didn't really do well with Burton. I think there were a lot of times that he came out in interviews and was a bit bonkers. There's something about their new ownership. Yeah, they've got something with their new ownership where they're going to talk to the manager pre and post match about every single game, and to me, seems a bit wrong. I don't know.
That's micromanagement, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, what people forget to realise is they've lost Didsey, they've lost McGoldrick. That is a massive, massive loss.
Yeah, I think with you saying about the ownership kind of being involved with the management, I'm definitely reassessing it. I'm going to agree with Ian and slot them in 15th. I think it's a slippery slope whenever you've got ownership meddling in footballing matters. You should hire a staff that you trust to deal with that. We've had it at Donny before where our ownership were meddling and it never ends particularly well. So yeah, I'll go 15th with Notts County. The final promoted team. Big congratulations to Oldham. Welcome back to the EFL. I didn't say welcome back to Barnet as well. Welcome back to the EFL Barnet. If there's any fans watching, Oldham though, big team. Far too big for non-league. Great to see them back. Are they gonna compete at this level? They're a way behind Barnet in the National League, weren't they, points wise? I think. But are they going to be one of those teams that come up and perform well? I've got them in 17th. I've got them bloody in noses, but not towards the upper echelons of the league. 17th still available, so it's down to you two guys where you've got Oldham this season. Ian?
I would have put them higher than 17th. I'd put them sort of in the top half. But I'll bow to pressure. I think they've bought well. I think Donovan Daniels, Ryan Woods, and Josh Hawkes from Tranmere are good buys because he's a decent winger, Hawkes. I think they'll do okay. Like I said, I'd put them higher than 17th, but I think they'll survive. I think they'll survive comfortably. And as you said, Dan, I think they'll bloody a few noses.
Yeah. What about yourself, Jonathan?
I've got them 18th simply because when they were making signings earlier on in the summer window, I saw a lot of Tranmere fans saying, "Oh, Tranmere B team," and I get it because their manager used to be Tranmere manager, so he'll want players that he trusts. I think a lot's going to depend on how they replace Norwood because I still don't think they've replaced him as far as I'm aware. I think Fondop at Football League level is a bit of a risk because he can either blow hot or cold. So yeah, I've got them 18th, but as you said, I think they're going to surprise a few.
Right. So we'll slot them in 17 for now, and see where the final 5 fall into the final 5 slots. We've got 2nd, 5th, 11th, 18th, and 20th remaining. There may be a bit of shuffling to do. Starting with Salford, I've got them as having a decent season, but just missing out on playoffs. In my predictions, I had them in 8th. Obviously, that's gone. I don't think they've got enough to break in playoffs. So the next available spot is 11th. Do I think they're going to do better than Gillingham or Cambridge? I think they'll be better than Gillingham. So there might be a bit of shuffling there, but it's up to you guys. Where have you got Salford, Jonathan?
I had them in my original table as 13th, simply because they've lost Adelican. They've lost, or they're going to lose in May to Bolton, I think. I don't know if it's been done or whether they're still negotiating. And that was 2 massive players for them last season. They're going to depend a lot again on Kohler Gold Stockton, who, again, it can blow hot and cold depending on what day of the week it is. I do like the fact that they've re-signed Matty Young on loan from Sunderland, good goalkeeper for the level. I think with Robinson, you get what you get with Carl Robinson. It's not pretty with Salford. It's not effective. I made the mistake Friday night of watching their YouTube match v Stockport, and it was like watching the tennis a couple of weeks ago. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah. I'd be happy with 11th because I don't think they'll be as low as 18th, personally.
Yeah. Ian?
Nah. Salford, like I said, like it's already been said, Adelaide-Cum, McElhaney, Ryan Watson, all gone. I don't think they'll. To be honest with you, I don't think they'll be top half. I would have probably put them somewhere like 16th, but out of pressure. I don't like Robinson as a manager. I don't think his tactics are brilliant. But there you go. I'll go with the majority. I think they'll survive, but I don't think they'll excite anybody. Put it that way.
Do we move Bromley, County, Crewe, and Oldham down one? Slot Salford in 14th?
Yeah, could do. Yeah.
That seems about fair.
On to Shrewsbury while I'm just sorting the table out. Ian, Shrewsbury Town?
Unfortunately, I think they're going to struggle. There's always one club that gets relegated from League One that struggles again in the league below. I'm not a fan of the manager. I don't think I think he gets jobs. I don't know how he does it. What's his name now? Go on. What's his name? I can see
him. Michael Appleton.
Appleton, that's
yes,
it.
That's it.
I mean, he struggled at Lincoln. I think they've picked a couple of decent signings up. They've picked Tom Anderson up, haven't they, from Donny, which were very early in the window.
Yeah, he's a solid centre back at this level as well.
Yeah, they've picked Sam Clucas up, who did pretty well for us in the championship season, but he's the wrong side of 30. Scully, another ex-Lincoln player that did very well at Lincoln and nothing anywhere else. But yeah, I think 20th made for them. I think they'll struggle. I think they'll be the worst of the relegated clubs.
So I had Crawley in my predictions as the worst of the relegated in 15th. I had Shrewsbury just above them. A few places above them in 12th. But like I say, some of the recruitment, Tom Anderson is knocking on, very decent for this level. But if you've got some young, nippy strikers around them, it's going to be difficult for them. And there's always, like I say, there's always one team out of the 4 that are relegated that just can't seem to acclimatise quickly enough. And Shrewsbury could be that team. Jonathan, whereabouts did you slot them in?
Yeah, I had them originally as 21st. I think a lot is going to depend on if they can keep John Marquis fit and firing, if he can get the service.
Yeah.
You know yourself, Dan, he's at Marquis at this level, if he is fit and firing, can get easy 10, 15 goals.
Yeah.
It's whether, as Ian said, it's whether Appleton can get them motivated. He doesn't strike me as a motivator, and I think that's what you need when you go down from League One to League Two. That's what's holding me back from putting them higher.
There we go. 20th then. The final three teams. So we've got Swindon, Tranmere, and Walsall. Are we in agreement that all of these teams are going to be top half of the table, or is there going to be a bit of shuffling about?
I'm not in complete agreement,
but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. We'll start with Swindon. For me, I was impressed with them when Holloway came in. I think they performed really well the back end of last season, and if it's a big if, they can continue that form and maintain it and push on. I've actually got them in second. I think they could have a really positive season, but it could be one of those where I'd be happy with them in second, fifth, or 11th. I can see arguments for all three of the available positions at the minute. In my predictions, I've got them second. Ian?
I completely agree with you. I mean, the back end of the season, they were scoring goals for fun. They're a big club in this division, at Swindon, with a decent fan base. They bought well. I like Billy Bowden. I know he's 30-something, but he's got a track record.
Yeah,
he creates, he scores goals. I also like Oldacre from Chesterfield, central midfielder, decent box to box. If you can get him to keep on the pitch, because his disciplinary record's not brilliant. But yeah, second.
You need an enforcer sometimes, though.
Yeah. Second is for me, yeah, without a doubt.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm willing to go with you guys. I had them down in fifth, but it feels like they're keeping their star striker, Harry Smith. Ian Holloway's come out in the press and basically said he's not for sale. Basically said to Cambridge, keep your hands off him. He doesn't hold back, does Holloway. I absolutely love his interviews. I love his passion. I love his positivity. I think Connor Ripley, I think he could get the Golden Glove this season. That's how much I rate Connor Ripley.
Yeah, decent keeper.
He is, and as you say, momentum is key. And if Swindon are good on the pitch, and hopefully they're off the pitch issues, which they still have, I believe, in some capacity. Hopefully that won't affect what a good season I think they'll have on the pitch.
Yeah. There we go. So our promoted teams are locked in by the looks of it. MK Dons, congratulations, you've won the title. Swindon, you've won the second best trophy. Chesterfield, well done, you win the dog bowl that Bradford won last season. On to Tranmere and Walsall. Now, for me, I predicted Walsall in 16th. I think their fall off last season could end up continuing into next season. Tranmere were performing well towards the back end of the season. I think they were one of the form teams towards the back end. So again, if they can continue with that, it could be a positive season. I'm not comfortable putting either one of them in fifth. I don't know about you guys.
No.
Yeah, I think you've got a point. Tranmere, though, I think they will. I don't think they'll struggle to the extent that they did last season. I think the manager that took over from Adkins did a fine job. Also, they've recruited a decent defensive midfielder in Richie Smallwood from Bradford.
Yeah,
who's an organizer. I'm sure they'll make him captain. I'm sure they will. They've still got quite an aging strike force in Dennis and what's the other one? Norris. But I don't think they'll struggle. I think 11th's fair. I think they'll have a far better season this time round.
Yeah. Where did you have Walsall in your predictions?
I had them my favourite position, top of the bottom half, 13th, because I think they will I think they will have a fall off from last season. I'm surprised that they've kept hold of Matt Sadler because of the disappointment of last season.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think they overperformed last season, especially the first half of the season. And Nathan Lowe isn't there scoring goals anymore, so that's what put them back last season. So yeah, I'm not happy with putting Walsall fifth. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not either. Jonathan, what about you? Where did you have Tranmere and Walsall in your initial predictions?
So my initial predictions, I had Walsall the same as Ian. I just think the quality they've lost and that they've not replaced. Not only Ryan Stirk, I think that David Akagbu's gone to Peterborough. One of the other midfielders is it Jamie? I want to say Jamie Jealous has moved on, but I could be wrong on that one. They need to replace the keeper because the keeper from last season was really good as well. That's a major thing, and I just the fall off from last season was just absolutely bonkers. So
that's where Aidan Flint's gone. That's
where
Aidan Flint's gone to Walsall. I knew he'd gone. I still don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think so.
10th for Tranmere seems about right, I think.
So I'm in agreement with you guys. I think Walsall, I'm not comfortable with them going in playoffs. So what I'm thinking is everyone shuffles up one.
Probably. Yeah.
Walsall slot in 13th.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine,
Yeah.
And that's it. I think we've agreed more than we've disagreed. It's been a very easy hour, to be fair. Are we comfortable with that before we say it is locked in? MK Dons as champions, Swindon in second, Chesterfield in third. I'm happy with those as a top three.
The playoffs look decent matches already, don't they?
I'm happy with the playoffs. I think
if there's one club out of the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th that could challenge for automatically, it's the Gas. I think if they hit the ground running, I think they could take some stopping because the signings have been exceptionally good.
Bottom half of the table, I think I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And I think the bottom two.
I think Oldham might be a bit higher, but apart from that, I think especially the bottom 5, I can't see anything past them. Yeah.
I feel like Notts County are a bit too low, but I don't know if I'm just judging it on it being Notts County.
Yeah, maybe
not the squad that they've currently got, because a team the size of Notts County should be challenging that top 7 for me. But it just doesn't seem to be settling there at the minute. So I don't know if I'm just looking at the name and thinking they're far too big to be that low. But
but that doesn't always equate, does it? I mean, you get massive teams that get relegated.
Yeah. Look at Carlisle last year.
Correct.
Yeah. So are we happy to lock that in?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
There we go. Take a screenshot. We will be revisiting this at the end of the season. League 2 is locked in just under an hour. That's some going, boys. So MK Dons, Swindon, Chesterfield promoted. Bristol Rovers, Grimsby, Colchester, Fleetwood make up the playoffs. The middle of the pack, Cambridge, Gillingham, Tranmere, Barnet, Crawley, Walsall, Salford, Bromley, Notts County, Crewe, Oldham and Barrow. And then the 5 at the bottom battling for to avoid relegation, Shrewsbury, Accrington, Harrogate. But we've got, unfortunately, Cheltenham and Newport are heading to the non-league. So that's the 72 reviews, predictions for the 2025-26 season in League 2. Let us know. Do you agree with all the positions? Do you disagree with them? It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on your team. So let's get rid of that. And any final words? So we'll start with Jonathan.
No, not really. Just thank you for having me on again. Again, the pressure of what our table's just going to weigh on my mind, and going to be looking at hopefully at the end of the season, and hopefully you are right. But if you are wrong, then I'm ready for the comeback.
It'll be fine. I think you can show them the video again and show that you were bullied into accepting that MK will be finishing top of the table, and then the abuse will come mine and Ian's way.
Oh, well,
Ian.
I mean, we deserve it. We deserve it, because as soon as I saw that MK were signing this player, that's especially it started with Mendes Lang. I thought, well, who's going to come second in League Two?
We've had a fair share of abuse in the past, Ian. I'm sure we can take a little bit more.
I'm sure we can.
Any final words, mate, before we round off?
No, actually, it was quite convivial. It were, I think we agreed with more things than we disagreed with.
Yep.
And I don't think it'll last. I don't think the League Two and the Championship predictions will probably be as agreeable, put it that way.
No.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does last. There's 2 more videos. So if you have enjoyed this one, thank you for spending an hour with us on your Monday evening. Big thank you to Ian and Jonathan for spending some time with me and helping me predict the League Two table as a collective. Like I say, if you're watching this on repeat, get the comments in. Let us know if you think that some teams are well out and your reasons why you think so. We're more than happy to have that conversation and be educated. But we will be revisiting this at the end of the season. If you are new to the channel, we look at where the teams finished. We add a point on for every place out we were. I think in League Two, we got about 130 points last season. So, yeah, like I say, we're no experts, but we do it for a bit of fun. And we hope that you enjoy the fun that we have while doing it. So, once again, a big thank you to everybody for joining us. Big thank you to Ian. Big thank you to Jonathan. Links to their pages, their socials are in the description down below. Join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock. You're with us, Ian. Are you with us, Jonathan?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. So you've got the fantastic trio. Once again, Jake may be joining us to predict League One from 6 o'clock. Hopefully, we will see you there and speak to you in the chat. See you tomorrow.